Greetings everyone, and welcome back to the Pale Beyond, where we are still in the middle of winter, so let's make sure we don't freeze. Now last time I think we handled it pretty well, the first winter week, and currently we have one person with frostbite and one person that is freezing, so overall not too bad. We can probably afford to get some of the penguins from outside. But before we do that, let's make sure we got all the conversations done. So, mate, I'm losing track of the days. You're not alone there. Can you believe we've been holed up in here for 3 weeks already? Yeah, so that's what I was saying. Seems like 3 weeks passed instead of 1. So maybe that's how winter operates. 4 weeks, actually. Shit, you're joking. Afraid not? Shit. Okay. We have Junior and Grimely. You not say anything about the doc lately? Since winter started, he seemed off. More than usual. Aye, I think we should have words. Yet it does appear to be acting a bit strange. Which worries me because the doctor is quite crucial during winter. I've had to make a more concentrated effort to track the days as of late. By my estimate, we're not even a third of the way through winter. Yes, I wonder if there will indeed be a rescue waiting for us at the end. Harriet, now isn't the time for doom and gloom. Of course, but I can't help but think of the Viscount. The Viscount? Yes, I'm certain they expected rescue to arrive as well. Yeah, I suppose they did, didn't they? Okay, so let's check up on Cash and Templeton. Mr. Templeton, you wouldn't happen to have a spare pen, would you? It's so cold, the ink in my own froze up. I'm afraid I have the same issue. Blast it. I'll have to warm it up by the furnace then. Okay. Hammond and Cordell. How's the muds doing? Overstimulated, bored, cramped. They will grow used to it in time. What is the state of the boiler? Cramped, but it works. Nobody's dying. Good to hear. Thought I heard that one howling through the night. Stanbury? I doubt that. Stanbury is remarkably well behaved. Low bar for those animals. Better behaved than most of this crew. Again, low bar. Okay. And I suppose anything on the outside? Nothing but the penguins, so let's check up on the medical tent. Seems like we have no conversation options there. So let's take up those requests. See who shows up. Okay, we have quite the group. Let's start with Mr. Zack. I have had it. I've had enough. Night after night, week after week, those salters. Isaac, some decorum please. Apologies, but I cannot take the presence any longer. Loud, disruptive, and the mess they leave behind after dinner. I just want some peace and privacy, that's all. Is that too much to ask? Captain, I implore that you relocate me to another tent, anywhere else. As long as it's away from them. We're a crew. If you can't live peacefully with the sailors, you will have to learn. If it's so important to you, then you will be moved elsewhere in camp. How about closer to the kennels with the dogs? I mean, so this feels like taking a side between the crew and the scientists. This seems like it could cause an issue if I do leave him there. Then again, if we do that one, maybe they will be unhappy? I'm trying to think, like, this is not really a very large camp, so... I mean, this one feels like it would just be a pure negative. So... quite the dilemma, isn't it? Like, if we're going loyalty-wise, I'm pretty sure I have more loyalty to spare with Templeton. Although I don't really think this will affect him that much. And I'm kinda close to Grimely getting upset, but what I'm mostly thinking about is that if we leave him there, this will probably cause a further issue. You know what, if it's so important to you, then you will be moved. But then again, if we do that, then won't other people start asking for the same thing? Oh man. I'm trying to envision what kind of consequences these two things will have. Like, this just seems like running around the issue. I don't think it's gonna be any sort of solution. Actually, I think I'm gonna go with the first one, because if I let him move, then everyone else will ask to move, and it's gonna be complete chaos. So let's go with this one. We are a crew. If you can't live peacefully with the sailors, you have to learn. Oh, we actually got loyalty with Templeton. Learn, Captain, please. Captain Shaw is right. We are all working together. Little professional conduct will go a long way, Mr. Isaac. Right. Apologies. Yeah, he's definitely gonna have further problems. Oh, if it's just that, then it's no problem. Okay, Lefty. Captain, hate to do this, but do you mind moving me to a new spot? Okay, you as well, really? It's getting awfully cold, and those old bones are starting to crack. I'm not owed special treatment, but I'd like to be moved closer to the boiler, for warmth. No problem with that. I'm sorry, but you have to bear it. It gets better from here. Everyone is cold. That's no good reason. I mean, he is old, right? I think this one is actually reasonable. Is there anyone older than him? I don't think so. I mean, Kurt appears to be somewhat old, but I guess this guy as well. You know what, I think in this case, I'm actually gonna go with accepting it. I see no problem with that. You may move immediately. I lost some loyalty with Templeton, to be expected, but I think his reasoning is actually quite decent. The winter's been harsh. Let's check up on grips. Oh my god, is everyone coming here to move? Captain, do you mind if I move to a different tent? Worried about the boiler. I'd like to be on hand in case of an emergency. Would you be able to move me closer? I just granted that spot to Lefty. It muddies the waters to move you now. Please make do with your current position. You're never too far from the boiler. There's no need for a change. Okay, so the way I'm thinking, the first one is just purely negative. I don't see anything good coming out of it. The second one muddies the waters. I already did move one person, so I don't think I can go with this one. So you're never too far from the boiler. There's no need for change. Templeton probably won't like this, but I think I'll go with it. Oh, he did like it. You'd be surprised, Captain. Still, I'm not going to argue with you. And he's demoralized as well. Okay, so Grimely, let's check up on him. Sure, Templeton. Need to do something about Arthur. Arthur? The doctor? Right, yes, Dr. Nutley. Wasn't aware Dr. Nutley was proving an issue. What do you mean? What is that Craven up to? Okay, let's go with what do you mean, Grimely. Since winter started, he seems unwell. I think the pressure is starting to get to him. I'm surprised to see you coming to us with this issue. I didn't take you to show concern to a high-class landborn. He's a good lad, means well. Besides, he's a part of the crew. Kant picked him out. Well, it's no secret that the good doctor carries a nervous temperament. Do you think it's beginning to affect his own health? Not alone, Junior. Junior, Belfort, and Darling all think so too. Then it's quite noticeable. Have words with him. If the doctor can't hack it... Yeah, let's go with we'll have words with him. Don't worry, Grimley, I'll have words with him. Good. Better sooner than later, talking to him. That's barely hanging in there. Yeah, so that's probably... Oh! Captain, Templeton. I heard through the grapevine our good doctor was having a spot of bother. Indeed. You may just be able to help. You know the boy well, don't you? I should say so. How long have we been on the ice together now? Then you may just be the right man for the job. We are concerned by the doctor's temperament, he's slowing down in his work, and may threaten stopping altogether. Well, his own health comes above his work, wouldn't you agree? Both are a matter of grave importance. You will speak with him then. I'm afraid that might be beyond me, Richard. What? It's captain's duty to consult the crew. You've spoken to Nutley before. Kurt is right, he's not the man for the job. Yeah, I think I'll just go and handle it. It's the captain's duty to consult the crew. Right you are, Robin, but it's not just that. I've spoken to the lad quite a bit, but I've never made it through to the boy. A tough nut to crack. I might not have the right disposition for it. Too soft, I say. Excuse me? You treat him too softly. The young man's a doctor. Does not need to be handled with gloves. What he needs is someone to remind him of the duty behind his role. No sugared words. The boy's temperament is hanging by a thread, and you want Shaw to approach with a saw. You said it yourself, the gentle method proves ineffective. I said no such thing. Nutley requires encouragement more than anything. Seems harsh, but Nutley requires a reminder of the importance of his duty. I mean, so I'm trying to think, so far I've been encouraging. It has been giving me loyalty, but has it been improving his morale? So... Then again, he doesn't really seem... Like, I'm trying to think, does he work better under pressure? But I don't think he would, because it's the winter that caused him to get to this state. So I'm assuming pressure is not really what he needs. I guess... No use arguing this, we will see what fares best when I have words with the man. So that's probably just some free loyalty, but it kinda seems to lock me into one of the conversations, so... where is it? Specialists. I mean, Kurt is maxed out, Templeton is as well. I think I'll just go with this, even if it drops loyalty from both. So I can have a more free conversation with the doctor. Understood. I suppose what presents itself in the moment is best. Yes, no good playing with hypotheticals, is there? I trust your judgment, Captain. Best leave the talk until after dinner. No need to interrupt his work further. Please, let me know how you fare, Captain. Best of luck. Okay. So far, so good. Oh, we have two hosts. Is that so? Yeah, well, let's make sure we assign people to fix those. And I suppose I can assign the scientists. I'm not really doing anything else. And I want to have the engineers ready, so they can help people get rid of frostbite. So that's good. Let's talk with Grips and Dick. About a quarter of the way into winter, by my count. You have a different count, by any chance? No? Damn, I was hoping you might. Okay. Let me go and get my penguin real quick, the free one. Somehow I am not getting freezing, but everyone else is. Let's see. Maybe it's a chance, I don't know. I only sent one person last time, so maybe it's not guaranteed. Cashin Temple. I always meant to ask, Mr. Templeton. What precisely is your area of expertise? Botany? Odd. How so? Botany is the study of plants, correct? Not an abundance of plants out on the ice. The meteorologist, the biologist, I understand. But why were you chosen? I have a much wider range of knowledge outside of my field. I was chosen to be the head scientist of this expedition. By the benefactor, correct? Yes. Which reminds me, just who is this benefactor of yours? I asked Hunt often, but he always avoided the question. He avoided most of what was asked of him. You ask many questions, Miss Belfort. Exactly. What Hunt said. You seem adamant not to answer. I do not see it as relevant information. Everything is relevant, Mr. Templeton. You can only hide secrets for so long. We will see about that. Okay. Suppose dinner is next. Yeah, I cannot talk to Nutley just yet, so let's load up the hosh pot. Some fish. So I think that much should be enough for now. Actually, I'll go one more, so I'm not on 50, because if I remember correctly, if I go to 0, I lose the game. So that way I can give 50 rations and still be in the game. That being said, I'm running quite low on food, which is not ideal. Suppose it's dinner time then. Let's see how that goes. The crew have their meal. The crew return to their posts. The long dark continues. And choose who to spend your evening with. So we have Nutley. And we have Templeton. I think let's... I mean, this seems like an important thing. Like, I'm worried if I go and talk to Templeton, will that affect my timing of talking to Nutley? I mean, so far it hasn't been the case with these yellow circles, but... no. Not gonna risk it, I'm just gonna go talk to the doctor. Ah, Captain. Is there an issue? We need to talk, Doctor. The crew are worried about you, Arthur. I hope not. It's time to evaluate your work thus far. We need to talk, Doctor. Oh, right. Captain, I must apologize. For what? I know I'm not what you would have asked for in a ship, Doctor. I'm nervous, my mind is often scattered. And the sight of blood, well, it makes me faint. Hardly qualities befitting a surgeon, are they? Hardly qualities, okay. You've made do, you're a fine surgeon nonetheless. No, it's a wonder you were given the role. You've made do, you're a fine surgeon nonetheless. Let's go with this one. Captain, there's something I must confess. The reason Hunt took me on, against all other candidates, well, is because of my father. I doubt that. Hunt didn't seem the sort. Your father? Was Hunt a relative of yours? I doubt that. Hunt didn't seem the sort. But it's true, Captain. Well, you see, my father was Hunt's barber. They were quite friendly and, well, my father called in a favor. Some favor that proved to be who would sign their son up for this work. And you know that for certain? You think it more likely that Hunt was repaying his barber than the simple fact that you earned the work? You know that for certain. Let's go with this one. You think it more likely that Hunt was repaying his barber than the simple fact that you earned the work? Yes. Sorry. My father. Was so proud when I took this expedition. Believed it could finally toughen his boy up. He was always obsessed with that, no matter what I did for him. It always came back to how tough I was, or wasn't. But you can see how well that worked, can't you? I've had no issue with your work. Is that all? You can't bear to face your father? I don't care about your personal issues. You've had no issue with your work. I've had no issue with your work. I've had no issue with your work. Captain, there's no need to protect my self-worth. I know where I stand. Some of the crew have been quite kind to me. Too kind. But whether it's harsh words from Templeton or pats on the back from Kurt, their eyes are all the same when they look at me. A burden, a mouth to feed. So, prove them wrong. You've convinced yourself of that, Arthur. It's a self-defeating outlook. You're no burden, you're the only doctor. Okay, so this seems can go quite a few ways. Like the first one, so prove them wrong, is already quite defeatist about it. So I'm not sure how he'll handle that. You've convinced yourself of that, Arthur. It's a self-defeating outlook. Maybe. I'm not sure how well he'll react to that. You're no burden, you're the only doctor. I think that's actually the best one, because it instills his importance to the expedition. Then again, he might just think, well, it's too bad I'm the only doctor. I'm split between the first and the third one. Let's go with this one. You're no burden, you're the only doctor. To have no doctor is better than to have a poor one, Captain. I've tried, but I have to accept it. My cowardice leaves me a drain on the crew's resources, selfishly so. Perhaps it is better of me to... Nutley, stop this, you're talking nonsense. You best not be suggesting what I think you are. Nutley, stop this, you're talking nonsense. Definitely not gonna be the last one. So it's gotta be one of the first two. At least stop this, you're talking nonsense. You best not be suggesting what I think you are. Yeah, this feels like a moment where we could lose a doctor, which would be extremely bad for our position. So let's make sure that doesn't happen. Oh man, I'm really divided between the first two. At least stop this, you're talking nonsense, or best not be suggesting what I think you are. Let's go with the first option. Nutley, stop this. You're talking nonsense. Right. Of course. You're right. Ha. I suppose I've been acting foolish. Now isn't the time to lose my nerves. What remained of them? I'm sorry for worrying you, Captain. Nutley walks off, making his way back to his tent. Clearly, much is on the doctor's mind. So maybe we saved him because he was loyal to me? But I still feel like he's not completely off the edge, which worries me. We have to keep a close eye on him. Let's go with 2 Jones, the current cavity, see how they are doing. 2 Jones, wait till you hear this. The winter's finally taken Tucker. Wait, what? What now? It's nothing. Man's so lonely he started talking to the woman on the tin cans. She's got an elusive look. It's a bloody drawing, Tucker. But what's her story? Once upon a time, someone needed to put a face on their tin peach gun. The end. Don't take Tucker to one of them galleries, he will lose his bloody mind. Alright, that's enough. We're not even halfway through the winter yet. Okay. And we have Tashi and Runsta. Why are you so pressed up against that lamp? Trying to read. It's too dark for anything like that. Missing your home, aren't you? Wherever that is. Not long now. We can hope. And seems like Templeton is still available. Captain, I have heard mutterings amongst the crew that have raised concern. It would appear that our rations of tobacco are finally running dry. The crew have already been on edge since the beginning of the winter. I doubt this will improve matters. Mr. Hammond and the sailors have been awfully fond of the leaf. I have even spotted them trading some of their food rations for more of it. Ridiculous, I know. The Upperton Company did well to supply us this long at least. I never understood why tobacco was included amongst the tinned rations in the first place. A waste when they could have included more food. Well, the crew will have to live without it. Let's go with this one. The Upperton Company did well to supply us for this long at least. Yes, it was remarkable it was even able to last as long as it has. Hunt must have consumed a quarter of the supply in his time on the ship alone. That lot are quite addicted to it. A simple plant carries so much control over them. Personally, I never cared for it. I tend to avoid any substance that could affect my body chemistry. Still, I have an odd respect for the leaf. There is something admirable about a plant that can steer human behavior so strongly. No wonder our benefactors saw it wise to supply them in abundance. I heard the sailors complain about the quality of the tobacco, yet they smoke away regardless. Tobacco, tinned food. Our benefactor has their hands in many affairs, don't they? How did they manage to produce so much tobacco in the first place? How did they manage to produce so much tobacco in the first place? It's as you'd expect, Captain. Just as they funded this expedition, so too have they funded countless ventures, countless discoveries. That is how their business operates. Do you believe they were simply fortunate enough to have peaches grow in their back garden? I have dealt with similar companies in my time Templeton. Many cut corners, focus on quantity over quality. They sound more ambitious than your average fruit salesman, that's for certain. It's almost concerning. It seems to me that they make their living stealing from others. That doesn't make that much sense. I guess let's go with this one. I have dealt with similar companies in my time, Templeton. Many cut corners, focus on quantity over quality. It is a shame that the two are not inclusive. But this is an unfortunate reality of our world. If some flavor is sacrificed in the name of providing such a necessity to the masses, then I would consider that an overall positive, no? You may have your doubts, Captain, I understand that. Do I approve of their eagerness to mine natural resources, to sell them off, at the cost they do? No. However, I also understand that commodification is the vehicle to scientific study. I have all the money I need to research these plants. I have seen several breakthroughs and discoveries that would not be possible without their financial aid. If in return I must provide them with a commodity to mass produce and sell off, then so be it. I consider that a mutually beneficial agreement for all involved. Yeah, pretty much. I see where you're coming from, Templeton. The good outweighs the bad. I think you're just deluding yourself. You seem truly passionate about this. Yeah, let's go with this one. I'm glad you understand, Captain. I find the nuance of arrangement is lost on most. I apologize, Captain. It's not like me to ramble like this. I suppose the tension of this winter has begun to affect me as well. Perhaps a cigarette would help even myself. Or perhaps I simply need a good night's rest. Good evening, Captain. Okay, so we have an approaching issue with cigarettes. That's definitely would end in a very bad situation. So now I'm trying to think. We have one person who is frozen or like has frostbite that we need to cure for sure. We have one person that is freezing. The problem is that if I send people out to the penguins, I don't think I can send them to the doctor afterwards. So pretty much have to cure them through the engineers. I think both of my engineers are ready, right? They are, okay. So let's go and assign. I could actually assign 3 people and have 1 person be frostbitten for the next week. That way I can get more penguins, and honestly, I think it might be worth it. So let's do that, send one of the crew. I mean, I'm kinda curious, he's already freezing. Don't really wanna try my luck, he might get frostbite, so... Let's go with that. And yeah, it appears they all got freezing, so... that confirms my theory. Every penguin costs us a frozen person. So let's go into the medical tent. Is there anything I can do for the crew? Let's see, so... Definitely need you. And we need the person that has frostbite. There we go. That will cure those 2, and then I can cure 2 more with the engineers. However, if I do that, one of my engineers is demoralized, so I might actually prefer sending him to get cured with Cordell. And having 2 people be frostbitten for the next week might turn out better for us, because decorum is low. Don't really want to lower it any further. Let's get that interview going. And we should only lose 5 decorum from the demoralization next time. And how are my resources looking at the moment? So I have 6 penguins and 2 buckets of fish. Not great, but it will have to do. So let's go and assign 1 engineer to cure 1 person of their freezing. And that's gonna do it for this episode, it looks like. I don't see anyone else that needs attention. I'll just quickly check. Okay, yeah, actually the episode's already long enough, so we're good. And yeah, let's proceed and see how things go. It appears that during the winter we're going to be going 3 weeks at a time, so maybe it won't be as long as I was worried about. So that should be good. I think we're gonna go with half rations. And I'm trying to think how many freezing people will we have. So 2 with frostbite. So that's 2 slots in the doctor. And we currently have... I think it already cured everyone, so... Can we afford 2 more freezing people? Or even 3? I think I can, but then I can't really access penguins. Then again, penguins basically turn into fuel. But I do keep some decorum by spending more fuel. Man, tough choices. I'm really running out of resources. I might have to resort to sending people out on scouting missions, which will in turn freeze even more people. Oh man. It's gonna be rough. So I'm trying to think, okay, currently in the... oh yeah, okay, so it has already cured everyone, or the 2 people from the doctor's tent. So I will have 2 people frozen already. If I go with half fuel, so I can preserve it, I'm still gonna be okay on decorum. It's gonna get a bit low, but should be fine. And now what? 3 more freezing people, so that makes 5. And I guess the engineers are fine. And I don't really need to cure the malnourished person, like instantly. And I can just cure them through giving enough food next time. I think I can afford going with half fuel. And we will just have to put a lot of people at the doctor next time, as well as utilize our engineers good. In a good way, I should say. So we'll go with half rations for now. It's gonna cost us quite a bit of the morale, but not really much of a choice there. Our resources are limited. Okay, so let's see how exactly we're looking. Okay, there we go. He's no longer demoralized. Okay, 1 frostbite. Lost 5 decorum. Second frostbite. And how many freezing do we get? It should be 3. As long as we don't get a random additional one. And we get 1 person malnourished. Thankfully though, it's the same person that's frozen and malnourished. So we can just cure them in both things. 8 weeks now. So it skipped 4 weeks this time. Okay, anyway. That's gonna do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed watching it. And make sure to subscribe if you wanna catch the next episode as soon as it releases. But for now, thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.